5YZF174, 7VYW329, 7NRZ635, 8SGH142, 6LAH689, I believe, 6ELV221. It is Sunday, June 13th, 2021. It's currently 9:09 a.m. Federal Group Stalking and Monitoring ceaselessly underway. 8DMH889, 7WVT425, 8TVK622. It's audible activity under the state's light source. Monitoring with that. To that is the state acting with 5KLS329, 8SMG157, in case I didn't read that one. 67673Y1, 7NRZ635, in case I didn't read that one. Let's see. $85045G2, 7TPY277, 8WBW337, I believe. Can't really see that one. It's like a neon green Dodge. 8WHR624, 8KRX290, 8LIN497, 7WPS163, 8SHB241, 8P85136, 7WGV452. KO79WO. This is 8AQL210, 8PLK446, 6LCE266. That is 8A, QL210. And let's see, 8VDH589, 8EKR880, 8LMX139, 11696T2, 71874G2, 7KEN416, 5SON976. It's 9:12 a.m. State's fake sun is not over the museum as it remains while I'm there at 10 o'clock in the morning, 12 in the afternoon. It's right here where I stand over my head where I'm documenting these minions' license plates. 7RY8, 7RY819, I guess. 8BAA12, Ontario Police Department crossing path with 6KEK289, 6NWN431, 4YHZ923, 8LJZ954, 8DOOP49, a paper plate on a that's a Toyota Camry. Looks like a 2018, 2019 Toyota Camry. 7ULY331, 8WPN513, 5PTJ001, and Ontario Police loitering in relevant position in the turning lane. The turning lane that is going in the direction what is north on Euclid to turn west onto Holt Boulevard. So they're turning past me under the fake sun, group stalking with the rest of the third parties engaged in criminal facilitation as well. 7AVD346, 7XUC206, 7EUS611, 6XEL141, 8B QW612, 7KQL792, 38535T2, 7KYD745, 6SCT305, TORRTE, Torrie, Tory, I guess, and it doesn't, that's like a red, blue, and white looking license plate. Doesn't look like an ordinary one. 7VME 549, 8SDN 128. No plates on that Jeep. That's funny. 8WIG 394, 4LUI 103, 7PFG 202, 6EIV 331, 1446, 9M2. Can't really see that one that clearly. Alrighty. So let me show you what these demons are up to. I've already established this. Loitering in relevant position. That's Route 61. Loitering nearest 123 Holt Boulevard, nearest the United States Postal Service, nearest Laurel and Holt. They're monitoring. 8SDN 128, 7V2 9963. Alright, I did capture ongoing video of the state's fake sun right over my head at the intersection. 8M38098, what I recited in my video, 4077 handicap plate. And I captured what is the absence of the sun east of my position on Holt Boulevard or west of my position on Holt Boulevard. It's directly over my head. And this is in direct conflict with it being remaining over me at the museum where I'm still there after this time. 7EBT 234, 7DVH 556, 7YSR 910. All right, and again, this is not just criminal, it's demonic. So this is understanding what demonic activity looks like. And these are demons in the natural. You see their face, you see what they're doing, you see they're driving around. It's supposed to be ordinary activity. I'm showing you how it is absolutely extraordinary and demented. 6RML 477, 8UMJ 899, 3658, T2, I believe, 7MRK 525. And therein lies the demonic aspect. That's how you were able to see the invisible, all right? The demonic impression operating over an entire group as they are monitoring an American citizen, which is criminal. 203, 84Y1, 7XUC 206, 5ZTJ 986, 8TYF 410. I read that one already, in case I didn't. 7YJG 440 is a sex offender and a psychopath. Let's see. Can't see that play. 8LKS 130, 7A VY 612, JEZF 4ME 7TIV 803, 8SFV 193, APM 52. That does not look like a license plate, but whatever. See, license 8RJ161, 8FLM 449. Can only see substantially similar to that. 8PNK 548, 7K SE 958, 7BKA 112, I believe, or 121. It's a BMW driving south on Euclid Avenue right now. It is 9:19 a.m. 5TM 924. 85875B2. 8ZO1984, 8GLW802, 6ZC. I can't really see that one. 8V, excuse me. The audible activity that this minion is monitoring me to is 8VKR664 is monitoring me to that audible activity. 7MEU759. 8WFN149, 7FOU165, 8GQM310. That's a paper plate. 40921E3. And it is 9:20 a.m. Loitering in relevant position at the traffic lights. That's what the people are doing. 8BZH096. And I read that one already. 5Y25425. 4HGW198. 8BXP551. Psychopath. 39559E3. 5FXN403. 96 58 5, I can't really see that one. Let's see. 7PLN458. That's Omnitrans. Crossing path of creating audible activity and light activity and loitering in relevant position. 8SJW720. That's audible activity. Monitoring me to that 5K5883, I believe. Let's see. License plate. That's a paper plate. That's audible activity created by Omnitrans. And I'm standing here at the intersection. The state amplifies that at the museum. 5WMZ913. 8531183. 5WAJ577. 7W57463. Looking like Freddy Krueger crossing path on foot behind me. It's just a minion without a license plate. Monitoring together, getting off of third-party facilitated venue Omnitrans. (83873D2), 8FWY143, 64213720, 06045V2. 98667U2, 5RAM464. And it is 9:22 a.m. And so what I want to get is I'm going to show you a video of the museum with the absence of any sun over that building whatsoever, let alone over the south corner of the building, over the edge of the hallway as I'm standing at the end of it, as I captured just earlier. Less than 24 hours because it was out at around 10 a.m. All right, so this is before that, and I'm going to show you what's the absence of the sun. And there's also no sun over Stater Brothers direction, so you're talking about west of this location on Holt Boulevard. There is no sun over the B&G Plaza, over Shiro's Liquor, over Metro 102 Apartments, over the City Hall parking lot, over Ontario Ovitt Family Community Library, over Ontario Town Square. It's right here where I stand at the intersection next to Group Stalker in license plate 98667U2. Okay, it is 9:23 a.m. All right, I did capture that video just to show another visual of what is the absence of any sun over the Museum of History and Arts, as I've captured it after this time remaining at the property. 8 WBW 837, if that's the same Dodge in the neon green Dodge with license plate. I did not get the entire one before. This is license plate 4SGU 486, 7CTC 937, 46355D2, 7KQB003, 8WBW 837. That's the neon green Dodge. All right, that is Amtrak. License 4UBN 598. Yeah, 8WBW 837. 4905583. 8LGV 8114. 7UGU 684. 7V32015. 6TAH 427. 7R 89509. 7KQL 792. All right, did capture the video of Group Stalker 8RIZ427 calling herself helping out the Ontario Police license plate 154746. That's a white male driving vehicle 1895 under the fake sun, driving east on Holt Boulevard, crossing path with the rest of them. 4LLV355, 7TXP359, 6WLF465, 8VKS299. Creating audible activity. They're all creating light activity, and they're group stalking under the state's fake sun, which I also captured a video again. So you're talking about entirely deliberate presence, entirely deliberate activity creation. All right. This is P.O.C. Impulsible light activity is surrounding these demons while they're monitoring. All right. 8VKS299, 7GTP207, 8VFW209. I already read that one. All right, Omnitrans, again, monitoring patrollings. Omnitrans is a systematic criminal, systematically monitoring, okay? When they're en route and when they are deviating from their routes that are published. Group stalkers stopping on the side of the road, the one I already read, 8VKS299 makes a U-turn to stop on the side because I'm moving. That's the group stalker, okay? 8FGB138. Everything that they are doing is for purposes of monitoring, okay? And you can apply that equally. That applies to Omnitrans. All they're doing is monitoring. They're doing it in a commercial vehicle. They're following what I do, just like the state's fake sun is. Just like the state's fake sun. Understand the fake sun is a picture, an illustration of what they are doing. Following and stalking because they're monitoring. Following with the fake sun is letting you know how intense their stalking conduct is. License plate 8GKV485, 6TJF134, NGX5816, that's a Texas plate, 4ULY579, 31816X2, 4PIK563, 7LGY297, V701RO, that's a black license plate with only 6 characters on it, CHECHI2, 8CLD695, 29411D2, 8KDK752. It is 9:30 a.m. State's fake sun remaining over me where I'm standing at the intersection of Euclid and HOLT, where I'm standing at the crosswalk. No sun over the museum, by the way, at all. That's what I captured in video. 4MBC 395, 7DVH 174, 7UEG 684, 8PFF 070, 8GLD 806, 6HIA 129, 81Z189, I believe, substantially similar. It's a Jeep. Oh no, sorry, that's a Hummer driving south on Euclid Avenue. It is 9:31 a.m. See, license plate 00581U2, 07004K2, 6YCJ054, 4VFG 452, 8EGX 442, 6NAZ 531, 12399T2, 7XRJ 311. Right, that's Amtrak. Every time you hear that, that's Amtrak. 7RAV 440, 8EGX 442, 4MFG 452. And what is the combination? The combination under a light source while the group stalkers are in your path, that's audible activity. That's the element of monitoring. 6GKY 645. Ontario Police driving north now on Euclid Avenue, P.O.C. 8WBW 837, patrolling past again. That overweight minion can't get enough. She's group stalking with the police. And they know that they're being documented, so keep in mind the state of mind. 5EMX 810, 714 7472, and that includes the Ontario Police. All right? They know they're being documented. That goes, and the people are one group, I understand that, but understand that they know that they're being documented as they're repeatedly patrolling individually. I'm not, as one group they're patrolling, but I mean the minions that are just driving in circles, repeatedly crossing paths, like they're having a field day today, okay, but at prosecution, all right, that's what I'm speaking of. And so you're talking about the state of mind, awareness of the fact that you're being documented and the threat that you're waging intentionally with the government. This is going toward the Ontario Police Department as well. This is the state that is engaged in egregious level of criminal activity while they're monitoring and aware of the documentation. That is speaking to the criminal intent, that is speaking to the criminal state of mind, that's going toward prosecution. And that is 00210A1, Group Stalker 00827N2, stops at Rich's Second Jewelry and Loan. All of these businesses are closed, drives past, stops at the sidewalk to reverse. That's use of light activity to engage in the demonic pacing back and forth. Okay, P.O.C. Again, that's 08027N2. It is 9:34 a.m. 7K79781. Six ZNB 455. 6XE 1141. That's funny. 7D904. I can't really see the rest of that one. 6NVE 711. 7TIV803 46270S2 and 8SMX 797 8SHR 514. Audible activity, license 09676T2 8VFJ 909 6TVR 141 8JIF 049 6SOE 476. All right, as I walk west on Holt Boulevard, the fishbowl is maintained as the state's fake sun remains over my head, right? So you're talking about, I've just named you what is the richest second jewelry and loan at Laurel and Holt, Sam's Liquor, okay? Eagles, AERIE 2398, Fiesta Motors at 220 Holt, the intersection of Palm and Holt, license plate 5VUH 688. All right, they're monitoring. This is how the state maintains a fishbowl, and this is my location, my relative location. This is how you're going to get an expansive amount of third parties as you prosecute. 8GNZ 660, license 5VHZ 459. Going to third-party facilitating venue at the corner of Palm and Holt, where they're monitoring. What is this called? Battle Lab EVIC.com outpost. They're monitoring, engaging in a satanic system. Well, they can call themselves engaging in any church service, engaging in any recreation. Let me get this license plate 8DHK 602. Guess what screaming out praise Jesus is on a microphone? It's called being in relevant position, and it's called audible activity under the state's fake sun. 7YGL 369. And it is also the ultimate in blasphemy when you're engaging in a satanic monitoring system, screaming out the name of Jesus, which you actually despise, but I'm not going to go into that. License plate 8ERY 228. License plate 7DFV 006. That group stalker with 5VHZ459 just loitering in the parking lot with their headlights on facing me on the sidewalk as I'm walking while they're sitting in that parking lot. This parking lot for the Battle Lab, evike.com. They're across the street from Car Wash, 322 Holt Boulevard Car Wash. All right, where Ontario Police Department went to engage in loitering in relevant position. That's relevant position for me while I'm standing at the intersection of Holt and Euclid. All right, gets the police vehicle wash and then patrols past again. 8FLM 489, I can't really see that one. 6WWZ528. I'm still proceeding west on Holt Boulevard. Let's see, license plate 6ULG285. What's the address here? That's 322. That's a facilitating venue making noise as I turn my head in a different direction. License plate 6RDL980. Because I'll go over there and get every single last one of those license plates. 5GDN189, 57817 Frank 2, 8BPA182, 8MYX425, 34456K2, 8FYT462, 03616T2, 8MLF109, 8SJBB58, 7YPT731. Just stopping in the middle of the street in front of me. 04744B3. All right, and what's the reason for the stop? Because they're going into the car wash where they're monitoring. Let me show you where the fake sun is. It's right over 322 West Holt Boulevard, the car wash, which is impossible to coexist with where I captured it yesterday at 10 o'clock. Not only over the museum, then proceeding to remain over my head as I went where? North on Euclid Avenue, where Omnitrans was engaged in P.O.C. The state's fake sun is captured in between those abandoned buildings right there where Omnitrans intentionally maintains presence. And I proceed to Ontario Times Square, and I'm making the point that the state's fake sun is in the exact same position that it was after 2 o'clock in the afternoon on June 4th, 2021 when I left Economy Inn, and I also captured it at 1:48 p.m. over my head at that venue. All right, that's where the state's fake sun was yesterday over Ontario Times Square. It's right here over here at 322 West Holt Boulevard. Who's monitoring with them? 75863W1. It's 9:39 a.m. It's still not even 10 o'clock. State's fake sun is still supposed to be over the museum. Let me give you this. Let me show you this. Alrighty, 8FQM130. Just punctuating my point that I have already made in a case that I've already established. I'm securing every prosecution of the people because the state's pattern of conduct is already established. 7FKV 823-48724D1. There is no question about what the people are engaged in. 8HSJ157 7NOD118. 8GAU137, and so that was the state's fake sun over me, where I'm standing in front of what is 322 West Holt Boulevard, a facilitating venue, the Holt Boulevard Car Wash. And that is the impossibility of that, as I'm making a direct contrast just between the last 24 hours. But again, this point is already made in the totality of my documentation. As I turn a different direction, that's the car wash creating facilitating activity. And the direction I'm turning is to get the address of these apartments where the state's fake sun is over here. This is 131 South Vine. These are at the intersection of Fern and Holt. And that is the car wash stalking with activity. And this is how you maintain the fishbowl. All right, the state maintains an environment, adding to the environment with train activity, plane activity, helicopter activity, just loud random noises. I've documented that as well. Amplifying what activity third parties are creating, as it's all applied to a microphone. The state is maintaining the environment while the group stalkers that are the people of the state of California, even as they are acting as the state. All right, the people driving state vehicles, the people working in government offices, such as San Bernardino County, that's the people, but those are actually, for purposes of prosecution, those are state actors. That's the government engaging in criminal monitoring, all right? But this is the people speaking to what they are doing in concert with the state that's operating this criminal system. And it's no ordinary criminal system, no ordinary criminal activity. It is satanic. It is absolutely satanic. So let me document First Christian Baptist Church engaged in federal group stalking and monitoring. At the corner of Vine and Holt Boulevard, license 39678B2. And this is not new. I personally documented it while I was there. And by while I was there, meaning the state was stalking with its fake sun that remained at this corner of Vine and Holt Boulevard while I was at that stair step, 7RUS 400, 8RB 83710, I believe it's essentially similar to Arizona plate. It's called First Christian Church, excuse me, at the corner of Vine and Holt, all right? And guess what? The state kept its fake sun over the staircase at the front of this church for the entirety of a day, all right, while I was at this venue. And by at this venue, that means I was literally sleeping on the staircase and remaining there during the day. The state kept its fake sun there. Understand, there was no sun rising over the museum. There was no sun rising over Woodside Senior Apartments. There was no sun rising over the Economy Inn. The state's fake sun was right here over the staircase. And as the state does, it rises, and I put this in air quotes, it rises from the left side of the building, which is east of where I'm at, to the right side of the building, the west side of where I'm at. That's what the state was doing at this address, First Christian Church, at the corner of Vine and Holt Boulevard. That's a third-party facilitating venue. It's nothing but a religious organization engaging in the state's criminal pattern of conduct. G722EO. And understand that they engage in and facilitate the state's pattern of conduct. And while I was also at that venue, the Ontario police engaged in heavily documented group stalking on this street, all right? Meaning they would do all kind of traffic stops and arrests of third parties. They're monitoring together while I was at this venue, okay? That's to create light activity. That's to loiter in relevant position, acting with the people while I was at this First Christian Church. It's called Disciples of Christ, the Friendly Church. They're engaged in monitoring and doing so right now. Let's see, license plate 6BSW349. $8VWP595. That's Southwest. Flying right over. 6JOC944 monitoring me too. That as Southwest flies over this right here where I'm at the corner. These apartments that are newly built, Emporia Place. at 121 South Vine. That is the state providing audible activity while the state's fake sun is here and while the group stalkers such as 8SKS002 cross path, okay? All right, also listening to me speak about the criminal activity that First Christian Church was engaged in and is engaged in right now. You have a minion that stops in front of the church, has their hazard lights on, creating light activity as the state acting via Southwest Airlines flies over while I'm standing here at the intersection. That's the group stalking conduct, okay? I'm taking a picture of what is the state's fake sun right here at the intersection. You can see the street sign in the picture. So you see right where it's at. It's at Vine, right over me where I'm standing, crossing the street. All right, it is 9:48 a.m. And that's just what I took an image of right now. Let's see. Omnitrans crossing path again. It's 9:48 a.m. 7 WZD 563. 8 SMF 303. 8 VRG 455. 8 UGE 114. 7 GPX 664. So I'm at the crosswalk now, and I'm walking to the opposite side of HOLT Boulevard. So to be precise, I'm walking north in the crosswalk in order to get to the opposite side of the sidewalk. I want to get what is P.O.C's at third-party facilitating venue, First Christian Church. This is a third party creating light activity using their hazards. Monitoring with 5RVG099. 81452B3 396 UP, that's a handicap plate. 8 UKR 410. All right, that's criminal facilitation of just those who are driving past me or using the lights, using the creating that light activity is criminal facilitation while you are also engaged in criminal monitoring yourself. And creating light activity that's pursuant to that group stalking and stalking with light. That's the psychopath. That's the people engaging in that pattern of conduct in the ways that they have, which is chiefly their vehicles. All right, license plate 00210A1, crossing path again. All right, and that's the red SUV I'm taking a picture of, parked at the side of the First Christian Church, and it's a red Chevy. Yeah, that's a red Chevy. With no license plate on the back, and they're sitting in their vehicle. I understand they're parked, sitting in the red. And this is supposed to be the guys in which they're necessarily using their hazards. They're stalking with light and stalking with the state where the fake sun is over the venue. And doing so monitoring with children in the car. So that's documentation of that criminal activity and using minor children. And I want to show what's the absence of any license plates on this vehicle. Understand that this is what the people of the state do, intentionally knowing that they're being documented. No license plate on the front or back. This is P.O.C. All right, I just captured pictures of that vehicle that was stripped of the ability to identify it. No license plate on the front and some piece of paper on the back. I took a picture of it. And I captured what is video of the state's fake sun as I am standing, not on HOLT Boulevard, I'm on Vine. And this is still, you can make a direct contrast just between 24 hours ago. And 24 hours ago, I still was not even at the library yet. Okay, so you're talking about, I wasn't at the library yet, so I made my point at the Ontario Town Square. and where Omnitrans was so generous with providing that direct evidence against itself and the people, the group that it is acting with. License plate 8FVX121 7T53512. And so you have what is the presence of the fake sun right here while I'm standing at the First Christian Church, okay? The state's fake sun right over that building while I'm standing in front of the car. The state is very precise with where it's placing its fake sun, and that is right here next to me as I take a picture of that. That's what I captured in video right now. The venue is First Christian Church. They are monitoring. It does not matter what your identity is, okay? This is how the state is systematically monitoring, engaging in that satanic system in the walls of First Christian Church Disciples of Christ. They are liars. No, they're not. They are monitoring, and it is a satanic system. So that is the absolute opposite of being a disciple of Christ, just so you know. And also, let me see, the minions are congregating under the fake sun, which is over this building. Hello, Satan. The cross-eyed minion stepping out of the door knows that I'm walking over here in order to engage in the path. P.O.C. 8BHL700. I don't see an address on that, but First Christian Church is at the intersection again of Vine and HOLT Boulevard. And it is 9:53 a.m. And I want to take another picture because I want to show you I took a picture of what was the state's sun right over me at Vine on the opposite side of the street where I was standing at Emporia Place. I crossed the street as I documented while I was doing so. And while I'm on the opposite side of the street, while I'm facing First Christian Church, Disciples of Christ, the state's fake sun is not on that side of the street. It's right here over me. I'm going to take a picture of that right now. And I'm taking a picture of where it was on the opposite side of the street where I included the Vine street sign. All right, no sun over there, okay? It's right over here in front of me. Like I just captured in video as well. Look at this. This one is very concerned about me, okay? Just loitering in relevant position. Anyway, this is what I also captured in video as I walked, which would be on Vine Avenue. As I walked from the corner to get that vehicle, I'm walking north on Vine, and that's where the state's fake sun is captured in between the two buildings. The church, the building being the First Christian Church, I guess the Satan Sanctuary, and the administrative building. It's right in between, cozy in between those two buildings, and then it's right back out here at the corner, at the intersection where I am standing right now. And I just took another picture to show you where it's at compared to where I was about 5 minutes ago, where I included the Vine Avenue 100 South side of Vine. It's right over me, and I included the street sign. You can see it. And that's, I mean, just another example. I've already shown this, but I'm just showing you one after another. The state is stalking with light because they are monitoring BP96Z30. It says Mercedes-Benz of Ontario courtesy car. They are using that as a means to maintain presence, stalking at the traffic light, which the state controls, and wearing a paper plate on that vehicle as a means of criminal obstruction. The entity knows that it's also being documented, and this is occurring under the fake sun. That's an African-American male with a passenger as well that's covering their head. It is 9:55 a.m. Is there something I can help you with? Why are you standing there? You want an answer to that? That's why you're standing there? Bye. License plate 8SJF198. That's the one that crossed path. That's the whole plate, I believe. 8UUV622. That's audible activity in the state's fake sun. 6ZXN728. 6FKC466. 6LGT301. PJV130, 8NBX741, 5EGG884. 8TBE990, 8A18263, It's 9:57 a.m. (11859F) Frank. That's F as in Frank 2.
No.
That's a group stalker, and that's audible activity. They're not being friendly. The state's fake sun is right over me as I continue to walk west on HOLT. I can't really see that plate. FedEx is crossing path at San Antonio, turning onto HOLT Boulevard. Proceeding to turn what is north onto San Antonio. That's FedEx, the readily identifiable group stalker, engaging the state's pattern of conduct. 7VD, I can't really see that one, you can scratch that, but let's get 7KKV356. It's 9:58 a.m. (8 NRE 503 3545403), which is a black and white that doesn't look like a license plate, but that's what's on that truck. Group stalking sitting in front of Barber at 561 HOLT Boulevard, in front of Paralegal Insurance Weddings Notary Taxes at 561-B HOLT Boulevard, sitting in his Accord. Group stalking. All right. That license plate, because they're one group acting together, so they're group stalking on the opposite side of the street. License plate 7TOV208, license plate 4UDV471, group stalking on the opposite side of the street, 8E74016. This address over here, 561-B, yeah, the notary, Insurance Weddings, he's just sitting in his car group stalking and gets out. He's in the path. This is Top Gear Barber Shop. Today is Sunday. It says I don't see anybody in there. He's just loitering in relevant position. I know he's in alignment to me as I'm walking on the sidewalk. He gets out of his car as I approach the driveway to enter Stater Brothers. And let me just be clear. I'm just pointing out the circumstances as they exist. These are group stalkers that are maintaining presence of the path as I am walking to Stater Brothers. That's what group stalking is. And let me take a picture of what is the fake sun right over this building where I stand. This is P.O.C. All right, so 8A18263. License 4GUG996, or yeah. CKG9190, that's a Texas plate, on a Toyota Camry, driving into Ontario Village Shopping Center at 10 a.m. Crossing path 6LQU757. Ontario Village Shopping Center is monitoring the entire shopping plaza. And that is just the immediate environment where I'm at. They're monitoring at Tom's Burgers. They're monitoring at the plaza that I just documented, the group stalkers, group stalking on the side of the street. They're monitoring on Bonita in their private residences along that street on Bonita. They're monitoring on the opposite side of San Antonio. What is over there? El Pollo Loco is a part of this plaza. Starbucks is on the opposite side of the street. You have what is the private residences on the opposite side of San Antonio. It spans a radius. Okay? They're all monitoring this entire venue. Heavily documented already. State's fake sun directly over this parking lot, in direct conflict with where it was at yesterday, where I stood yesterday at the same exact time. Where the state engaged in keeping its fake sun over my head as I walked around at the Ontario Town Square. All right, this minion likes to play 8TMM275. 8GON362. 4YWD 687, 5ZRX 973, 7ZDZ 815, 6SRU 762, 8EJB 709. This license plate 7TDN 104, 7GTX 279, 6SRU 762. In case I didn't read that one. 5KFM 818, 7EIU 727, 8PCW 648. 8EEY 240. 8CJV 519. 4UUB 428. 7TKV 917. 7GJY 159. 7NMD 944. 8FNC 681. 4GOY 971. 8TBE 990. 8PUK 942. 8TBP 171, and let me get this one. HOSS 2K4. That's HOS 2004. Whatever, HOS is a stalker. 8FIK 986. And it is currently 10:03 a.m. Alrighty, it is 10:05 a.m. 8FIK 986. In relevant position, group stalking city in the car while Delta Airlines flies over the parking lot, while Stater Brothers patrols in front of the door, which would also be seen on their surveillance cameras as the male that is engaging in form, stalking inventory in front of the door, acting with the group stalkers that are also employees of the venue, using the shopping carts while the State's fake son is directly over my head at the entrance of Stater Brothers, okay? That's P.O.C. that I captured in video, and that is the State's fake son over 646 West HOLT Boulevard. This is monitoring not just at Stater Brothers, but also the entirety of this venue, which is the Ontario Village Shopping Center. This is P.O.C. That's criminal facilitation. All of that is for purposes of monitoring on a massive scale beyond this shopping plaza, okay? But this is where they are engaging in surrounding, and this is where they are engaging in activity creation for that criminal purpose of monitoring with communication devices. All right, the surveillance cameras are present, and you are looking at on those surveillance cameras what is relevant positioning. While he's walking back and forth, like demons do, the state is flying over the entrance where the State's fake son is via Delta Airlines. It is 10:07 a.m. and that is P.O.C. All right, it is 10:20 a.m. I just want to document a couple of things where you're going to pay attention to. Not only because I've already established this point, this is going to the intensity of the prosecution of that sex offender, that is the people of the state. I've captured what was the absence of any sun even in this direction while I stood at the intersection of Holt and Euclid, first of all. Second of all, I'm capturing what is the state's fake sun as it's in motion, moving even to the opposite sides of the street as I move, as I'm walking, proceeding west on Holt Boulevard. And this is after capturing the absence of any sun at the west direction. All right, no sun over this location whatsoever. It's directly over my head. Indirect conflict with being over the museum at that time. All right, at the same time, it's still remaining at the museum because I'm there. And also, 24 hours prior, where was I at the same time? Nowhere near 646 West Holt Boulevard, and it's impossible that the fake sun would, the actual sun, all right, because this is the fake sun. It's impossible that the actual sun would be over my head at 646. That's a minion, all right? That's why I refer to it as Satan, because that's what it is. It's impossible that the sun would be over my head at 646 West Holt when I clearly captured it over my head while I stood at bus stop number 7911 as Omnitrans engaged in P.O.C. there, and it's cozy in between those abandoned buildings right where I stood, all right? As I proceed north on Euclid Avenue to go to Ontario Town Square. This is just 24 hours prior. In addition to what you are looking at, because I not only am I reciting this in real time on my podcast, I am showing you in video. You're looking at it with your own eyes, okay? It is impossible that the state what the state is doing with light, because that's not the sun. But this is also not the sun that was directly over me at Ontario Town Square, where it is also captured inside of the building as I stand at the staircase and I show you what is the directed light on the staircase inside of the Ontario Ovid Family Community Library, and the state's fake sun is piercing through. That's what I captured, and this is in the morning. This is 24 hours prior, right? Still before this time. I was still outside capturing video yesterday at Ontario Town Square, where the fake sun is moving in real time as I move on that property. And what are you also going to look at? Just look at last Sunday, a week ago. Also, you were looking at where I remained at that same intersection of Euclid Avenue and Holt Boulevard. I had not moved. I stayed there for a couple hours on purpose. What was the absence of any sun over Ontario Town Square, over Metro 102 apartments, even any direction east over Holt Boulevard or west over Holt Boulevard. It remained right there over me at that intersection where last Sunday I was still standing. It is impossible that it is the sun that's over my head over right now at 10:20 a.m. while I'm at 646 West Holt, which is Stater Brothers, okay? And that's just, my point is already made. I'm just pointing out to you, this is how you're looking at it. It is absolutely impossible, and you are comparing what the state is doing with light, all right? It's asininity, okay? And this is the impossibility to be consistent with that which is not the sun, because first of all, it's not the sun. And second of all, because it is, the state is engaged in stalking with light, following where I go, okay? And so as I show the satanic system that they are engaging in, and intentionally so, you're looking at and listening to and witnessing in video also what are demons acting out their hostility to what they know is pure, direct evidence, unadulterated evidence against what they know I've already shown. And Satan is very, very upset about that. So what does the sex offender do as I go inside of the restroom? Francisco is engaging in beating on the door before he opens it. Understand they're withholding the code. Group stalkers have the code, as I showed in video. That group stalker last Sunday opened the door. No employee escorted her inside. All right, so withholding the code is a means of harassment. It's a means of engaging in the P.O.C. All right, first of all. And second of all, you have what is the beating on the surfaces as I'm inside of the restroom. The state's fake sun is over the venue. All right, so this is a threat. This is ongoing monitoring that you are aware of while you're physically indisposed, intentionally in creating audible, intentional. The intent behind everything that is occurring is also derived from the environment. Yes, amplification of audible activity is intentionally occurring because it's amplified, because it's occurring within the environment that the state is maintaining, because it is occurring while the state is also stalking. All of these hallmarks just occurred before I went inside of the bathroom, okay? And so you have the amplification of what's supposed to be the toilet as I move inside of the stall. It sounds as loud as the actual toilet as I flush it. That's amplification. But it's supposed to be under the guise of somebody in the next restroom next door is flushing the toilet, doing so at the same time that I'm engaging in movement. So in other words, it's pursuant to the same behavioral pattern under the state's fake sun, under the state's directed light. And understand, not only are they engaged in monitoring inside of that private space, and this is facilitated by Tony Morales. He is the manager at this third-party facilitating venue. This is demonic activity. This is also the threat by the demons that are engaging in criminal activity as they are aware that they're being documented. Understand, all of that is coexisting, and that is the context behind what they're doing. It is also demonic fury, all right, that's being communicated as they're engaging in the criminal elements, in other words, okay? And so this is ongoing monitoring inside of the private space, engaging in that which they are intending to try to inflict some sort of harm while they know that I'm documenting the fact that they're sex offenders, waiting while I'm indisposed, waiting while I'm using the bathroom, wiping myself to engage in creating audible activity. They are doing all of this intentionally while they are furious at the fact that I'm documenting. And again, another day of showing how that is absolutely not the sun, that engaged in, the state engaged in keeping it over my head while the state is stalking, flying over my head in planes, while group stalkers are stalking while the state is surrounding with directed light, also impossible light activity, under any circumstance, even if that was the sun, and it is not the sun. So this is the state directing light all in all manner of direction, while it is also stalking with a light source over my head. This is the absolute removal of any coincidence. This is speaking to the intent of the people of the state who are violent sex offenders, and that's what I'm documenting that occurred yet again inside of Stater Brothers facilitating venue. And then you have what is a group stalker that gives me $10. Understand the people of the state of California are the ones that engaged in stealing my money off of my Rapid card, my Rapid bank card or debit card. Rapid is a third party. They are the people of the state acting in concert to that pattern of conduct. The theft of my money off of my card, withholding it, understand it's being mailed to third-party group stalker address, Tracy Banks at Woodside Senior Apartments, a facilitating venue, a third-party group stalker claiming she has not received it from the mail, which is delivered by the entity, the United States Postal Service. This is all one entity. You see how they're acting in concert together. They steal my money, engage in a narrative in order to come up with some story as to why it happened, which is irrelevant. The entity is monitoring, and it was pursuant to P.O.C. while I was subject to it inside of T-Mobile, all right, at 101, where the state's fake, 101 North Euclid, where the state's fake sun is over that venue. All right, and then you have what is the withholding of my money on a bank card, and then you have what is the entity acting by San Bernardino County. All right, using what are its rules after it engages in complete disregard of its rules for what is 2019, 20, 3 years now, almost 2.5 years now, not regarding its rules whatsoever, and then engaging in what it has at its disposal, which is a means of harassment and threatening while it is aware of my documentation, all right, using what it has in order to withhold what is the funds on the EBT card. This is the state this is the people that are stealing what doesn't belong to them, all right? This is all going toward prosecution, and this is informing policy, okay? This is San Bernardino County acting with what is Mercy House, aware of the documentation, monitoring me at that venue of Economy Inn, ripping from underneath what is the availability to remain at that venue where I was subject to criminal monitoring and sexual violence, where they were engaging in that criminal activity on those grounds, not engaging in the rules and checking in and or communicating, and then at its disposal, what it has at its disposal to engage in the P.O.C., to engage in harassment while aware of the documentation, engaging in removing the ability to remain at that venue. All right, this is how the entity is acting in concert with each other. This is relevant context to everything that they're doing. And then you have the group stalkers at this venue that are engaged in abhorrent, egregious sexual violence, and then stepping out and offering $10 when they are the ones that stole they are the ones that are engaging in systematic harassment on the job, where I'm practicing law, where I'm engaging in property management. This is the people that were engaged in sexual violence for years before I was aware of it. And then you have the same entity that engaged in, oh, here's $10, as though there's no separation of the conduct. They're one entity. Do you see the psychopath as I'm speaking to what they are engaging in? All right, and so that's on camera as well. And understand, even as that group stalker who rang me up at the register is coming up after they are engaging in listening to me, engaging in sexual, in other words, engaging in the criminal elements of monitoring, serving no purpose for monitoring with communication devices. They know that it's in my pocket. They know I'm not on it. This is none other than that sexual perversion, that predatory conduct, and that is that demonic fury at that documentation. That's why they're engaging in that, because it's not even a means of monitoring. I'm not using my phone. There is nothing that they are engaging in other than the fact that they are aware of the fact that I am documenting it. I'm creating policy to that criminal and sexually violent conduct, and the entity is very, very hostile to it. That's the sexual violence, and that's a sex offender. All right, that's a very violent sex offender that's engaged in harassment on the job, engaged in stalking, that's engaged in all manner of assault and battery, all manner of sexual violence while they're trying to engage in criminal defamation. This is the entity that's engaged in kidnapping on several occasions. This is the entity that's engaged in that sexual violence. All right, and to date, aware of the fact that you are documenting, that goes to prosecution. And so at 646 West, so I just want to paint the whole picture. Because this is what is ongoing here, and you're listening to what our demons engaging in presence and activity creation. And while the demon that was wearing a Stater Brothers uniform is walking back and forth in front of the entrance while he is doing it under the guise of filling inventory, at the same time the state's fake sun, after I captured the absence of any sun even in this direction, you're comparing it to last Sunday, you're comparing it to 24 hours prior, you're comparing it to an hour ago. all right? You're comparing it to even 30 minutes ago where I was at Vine and there was no sun in that direction. It's right there over the street sign where I'm standing, all right? This is what you're looking at, and the entity, and this is satanic. This is why you refer to it as what I know what it is. It's satanic. It's straight out of hell, and that is the engagement in the criminal elements for purposes of also satisfying that demonic hostility. They're communicating fury. And how are you legally analyzing that? That's an unlawful threat waged by the government as it is acting vicariously through the people, okay? But this is absolutely demonic activity, which Stated Brothers at 646 West Holt is engaging in with the patrons. They're facilitating it, and they're sex offenders. All right. And then after engaging in sexual violence, which I guess satiates some sort of demented appetite that they have together, you have what is offered. Oh, here's $10 from a group stalker from the guy that was standing in line behind you. They're all monitoring. All right. And there is no separation. They are the ones that stole my money. They're the ones that are legally responsible for the circumstance that a college educated I'm certified to practice law, as I'm also knowingly not to be subject to what is systematic harassment and very threatening conduct in my home and at the job, all right? And so this is what my situation, the economic situation, is precipitating from the criminal activity of the government, all right? And then you have what is none other than the people engaging in ongoing criminal activity as they are furious as I continue to go step by step with their inevitable prosecution. And a prosecution, an epic one it shall be. This is speaking to that necessarily intense prosecution because you're dealing with what is incredibly threatening harm to society as they are monitoring and targeting American citizens and engaging in sexual violence in a corporate nature, all right? And then engaging in demonstrating that determination to continue it, all right, while they're aware that you're documenting. That informs policy. It's not going to stop prosecution. It informs policy that you create around such an egregious criminal, okay? And that's what this entity is. That's what Stated Brothers is. That's what Stated Brothers is facilitating. That's what Stated Brothers represents. And that is in direct contrast to its image that it would like to present on the world scene. It is not a family market. It's a sex offender, all right? It's a thief. It is engaged in monitoring, criminally threatening and harassing, sexually molesting, and engaging in that in concert with the government and knowingly so, okay? That's a psychopath. It is personified through the group, which is acting under none other than the label of Stated Brothers Markets. This particular address happens to be 646 West Holt Boulevard in the city of Ontario, and that is the P.O.C. It's 10:32 a.m. All right, I want to document the specific identity of some of those actors. The one using the shopping carts is Delta Airlines, is flying over, and that demon-possessed employee is walking back and forth in front of the entrance of the door, while there's also a male. There's two of them that are using the shopping carts. The female's name, her name is Hermione, Hermione, and she gives me a different name, Julia, as I ask her name, and then she covers up her name tag on her chest as I ask her name. But the name tag on her person is Hermione, Hermione. And Francisco is the one that's standing at the register, who, as I referenced the security cameras, he's knocking on the desk. That's just a means of noise, okay? That's what minions do everywhere. That's what they do inside of the library, for example. You have literally minions, demons that surround inside of the library as they're stalking with activity, and they use what they have at their disposal, knocking on the desks, hitting the bookshelves, all right? Slamming the book carts, slamming the doors. All right, that's what she's doing. That's what Francisco is doing at the register while I'm paying. And then he opens the bathroom door because they're withholding the code, which is available to the group stalkers who engage in monitoring inside of the bathroom. All right, and his name is Francisco. He's the one also that opens the door. He knocks on the door when there is a code that you enter, and that's activity creation. Okay, it's occurring under the guise of, oh, he's making sure. I guess no one is. I mean, you're in bathroom stalls and there's a. Anyway. It's supposed to be under the guise of he's escorting me to the bathroom, knocking, I guess, to make sure no one's indisposed before he opens the door. I don't know what that is, but it's activity creation nonetheless. And I just want to document those names of the employees here at Stated Brothers. That was Hermione, giving me the name Julia, and Francisco, the one that's at the register, knocking on the countertop, activity creation, and knocking on the door, which is activity creation of the bathroom as he escorts me to unlock the bathroom door. And we're at ongoing activity creation continued inside of the restroom, all right? Even the group stalker employee who approaches me and says, oh, somebody wanted me to give you this. Understand, that is even a means of activity creation, all right? It is P.O.C. It is 10:39 a.m., and that is the state flying over the parking lot, and I'm looking dead at it. You don't hear anything, okay? It's very targeted audible activity. That is Amazon Prime. It's 10:39 a.m. Now you hear plane. This is P.O.C. Alrighty, I did just capture those images, and I took video of Amazon Prime following as I walk up Holt Boulevard, right? Making a U-turn over me as I pause in front of that parking lot in front of, while I'm facing 322 West Holt, the 322 West Holt Boulevard car wash. All right, and you have what is making a U-turn in the sky space over that parking lot to remain in relevant position. Amazon Prime flying again directly over the parking lot where Delta Airlines flew over as well. The state is engaging in ongoing use of directed light right here under the shaded structure where the minions are just patrolling in and out, patrolling through the parking lot, patrolling on Holt Boulevard, patrolling all around on San Antonio and on Bonita. This is P.O.C. and that's another plane flying over right now, okay? That is another one. That is blue and white plane. I don't see Amazon Prime logo on it, but it's got a blue tail, like a teal blue tail. And I took a picture of what is group stalker this is the demonic pattern of conduct, okay? As I stepped out to get the video of Amazon Prime flying over, the African-American female, she is maintaining presence as she goes over and under the guise of getting a wipe to wipe her hands. She's getting in the path. This is how they surround as I make movements, okay? That's what I took a picture of. That's what you're looking at. I also took a picture of what is an elderly-looking Latino male. What he does is he uses the shopping cart sound, crashing the shopping cart at the moment that I engage in a new activity, which is touching my phone at the conclusion of my iPod, of my podcast before I walked inside of the venue of Stater Brothers. All right, and that's what he's doing. It's stalking with activity. That's what that is. And that's what I took a picture of. All right, that's the conduct. He's in relevant position, creating audible activity. He's engaging in the pattern of conduct, the behavioral pattern specific, which is the stalking with activity conduct. All right, and all of this is occurring under the impossibility of what is the sun being over 646 West Holt. This is the incredible occurrence of the state stalking with a light source, which is the tying together of what the people of the state of California are engaged in, and intentionally so. All right, not ignorant of that. Monitoring to it. This is documentation of a state and how a state engages in monitoring. And what is also sexually violent while you analyze that criminal conduct that it's systematically engaging in. All right, it is 10:43 a.m. Get license plate. Oh, I can't see that one. Hold on. 4NGS 946, 8JIE 789, 4ZYS 459, 3SIR 587, 8F12299. Yeah, 4ZYS 459, 7ANY 463, 6RZC 506, 6FQA 371, 8ACY 243. Fernando's just having a field day with the shopping carts, impossible light activity on this asphalt while these minions are crossing paths in their cars. And the state's fake sun is moving over my head from the edge of the building, as I showed you. It's moving about as I'm moving in the parking lot. 8LPK033, 8PUK942, 4CYB165. Using this commercial vehicle, I'll get that license. Let me get this one first. 8AEF911. 7CIM232, 7XPV365. This is license 03511N1. Group stalking in the parking lot. This is called Fleet Wash. California number 0283398. Alrighty, that's a commercial vehicle used as a means of monitoring. Light activity behind me with 4MGT 938. That's the same thing that the African-American female was doing as I was walking back to my property after capturing the video. They maintain with activity. Using the vehicle as light, the reverse lights, in relevant position. 6DWH465. 7RNH453. 7HPG657. 38628H2. 7CTM, I already read that one. But let me just finish this. 7CTM232, 4N12789, 7MBB167, 7YFV848, 5VLH512, 6PZG628, 88120F1, 6SWS561, 8MUB489, group stalking in the parking lot, 7HPG657, 7MXG854, 6XLT574, 8FJB910. 6G65217, 7VVR012, 8ESP517, 7ZRV927. All right, so let me show you what the people are doing. All right, it is 10:47 a.m. capturing video of the impossibility of the sun being over me, but yet you see it, and that's because it's the state's light source while the people of the state are monitoring. 88120F1, 4TFV563, 4N12789, 7TCM2, oh, no, I know I read that one already. Group stalking is car 6YIU972, 7KRX529. 8GVB256, 8MGX299, 8TDC944. Safeguard Patrol on Demand. That's a company vehicle as a means of monitoring, and this brand is going to be associated with that criminal activity. Let me get the license plate of Safeguard Patrol on Demand. License 8KED587. I think I got that one. 4ZY, yeah, I got that one. 6UWT573, 4UVS806. Alrighty. This is Safeguard Patrol on Demand. Monitoring in relevant position. Let's see. I think I read that one. 7JBY518, DU744, that's a handicap plate. 8HPF103, 4RRH778. Patrolling in the parking lot. 1RVE869. Going ahead in a black Dodge Challenger, just loitering in relevant position. Not being polite. They're group stalking fake sun right over my head. The psychopath. Yeah. License plate 8SRD836. 7GCC190. 4FLH, yeah, I read that one. 6R18411. 5CGC271. 8SQT726. 4NGS946. 14 603F3, I believe. Can't really see that one that clearly. Got that license plate already. I read that one already. It is 10:49 a.m. Now you recall where I was 24 hours earlier. NYBOXER is a stalker. Probably not a very successful boxer. He's a stalker. 3BGP040. 7WCU116. No plate on the front of this car. BD16K76 is the paper plate on the back of it. 6URW982. 7SRD412. 6GHC978. I think I read that one already. And let's see. 10:50 a.m. 6FJG663. 7MFN407. 8BDV943. 7VBV098. 8TOR375. 8RQE401. 8TLF061. 8B34 something 06. Can't see that character. It's blocked by the tractor. 7WHE252. 7LUT041. It's 10:51 a.m. Here we go, running up as I make a new move. 7XOD316. 7EXR967. 7TDN221. 8ELX473. 8CAD852. 8CEF762. 7SXE291. 5YAZ279. 4J12021. 8UTK399. 8FGT960. Omnitrans is crossing path. Driving westbound on HOLT Boulevard right now. It is 10:52 a.m. Bus number 1219. They're monitoring, stopping at in front of Starbucks. AP25F22. That's a paper plate. License 8POA456. HCL347. CVT 038, I believe, is the Arizona plate. 8HLZ751. 8EEZ586. 6UWM869. 6FJG643. 7BKJ339. 71720D1. I can't really see that part. Let's see, 83548U2, 8FKA341, 8ULB598. It's 10:53 a.m. All right, so what do you remember? You remember that the state engages in acting like the sun is remaining over the library all day long. Not remaining over. It's beside the library as I arrive. It's in front of the library as I exit in the middle of the day after being over what's supposed to be over the elevator because light is aiming inside over the staircase. License 88750Z2. And then as I exit in the evening, where's the state's fake sun? Right there in front of it. Right there in front of the library. 7UXM377. And like I stated, how are you ever over T-Mobile if you're remaining over the library all day? How are you ever I'm sorry, not over T-Mobile, right on the side of T-Mobile on the sidewalk as I stand on Holt Boulevard as Amazon Prime was flying over me. And you have, how are you ever being over Stater Brothers parking lot, 8GVZ724, when you're remaining over the library all day long and setting in front of it, 8RFB994, 8UNE897, 8UFK317. I know I have made the point and some, because you're looking at not just the fake sun, you're looking at the impossible light activity, that's the directed light. You're looking at what is the light activity that the state creates with my multiple shadows. All of this is coexisting together. 6X35343. And what I captured where the state was acting like the sun was setting right in front of the library. And as I walk what is south on Lemon after exiting the library, and I'm showing you what is my shadows on both sides of me while the fake sun is in front of me, moving from the front of the library, it's moving in step with me, okay? 6TKD226. All right, how are you ever over this parking lot? You're not. That light activity right there is exclusive. You're not ever over if you're remaining all day long, which the actual sun is not. Hence, this is not the sun, all right? 7FNA061. All right, this is just common sense. It is not rocket science, and it's not intelligent what the state is doing whatsoever. It's the direct evidence against 2Z51401. Not a glimmer of hope. 8KTX051. And they're psychopaths. 7WCM036. Psychopath. Who thinks of something like that? Who does something like that? But who thinks of something like that? Who participates in something like that? I'm going to tell you. A psychopath. 6HRE585. 7L92921. 8TMF967. All right? Now, the term of art for a psychopath, all right, which those who are engaged in what is the imprecise, and it is not scientific, mental behavioral health type studies, 8PLF933, refer to some, they're just, no. Let me let you know what this is rooted from. It's demonic, okay? 8FGD183, it's absolutely demonic. 8PNH545, this is out of hell. This is straight out of hell, and these are demons that I am identifying in the natural as they're engaging in criminal activity, thinking that it would be impervious to being identified by one who may be able to discern it, but how are you going to prosecute it? I'm showing you how you're going to prosecute it. 7WCU116. A combination of a skill set. All right, 8LPK033. 5VLH512. 5WJV727. 8ATR711. 8A08433, 8KPS094, 8GVB256. Understand, what's the legal analysis here? This is the government that's driving all around, that's working inside of Starbucks, inside of Tom's, inside of El Pollo Loco, inside of Habit, inside of Miss Donuts, inside of Stater Brothers. This is the government that has made itself intentionally present all around you, 8FNS636. All right? The government has made itself vicariously present, 8SBG715. That is also how you are deducing intent when you are speaking to the prosecution. How else are you deducing intent? The behavioral pattern that the people of the state of California abide by. All right, the stalking with activity conduct, maintenance of presence in the path, all right, the ongoing coexistence of impossible light activity with their crossing of path conduct. This is how you are deducing intent. The very pattern of conduct is showing how that is no coincidence. It's impossible to have that coincidence occurring over and over and over again. All right, that is the system in operation. And it's not just criminal monitoring, it's satanic. 6HJP305. 4UVH, I can't really see that one. 822, can't see that one that clearly. License plate 8ADF662. 7ZTW586. 8UVE360. 8TQM092. 5GGW652, 8UVE351, 7KFE547. State flying over in another airplane. All right, it's relative to my position. I'm not standing under the structure at Stater Brothers, so it's flying over what is right in front of me, El Pollo Loco. And that is still amplification. That is a all-white commercial-looking plane, blue tips on the wings, and a blue tail with like a fin on the back of that tail. And it's flying very fast. I think that's like a pseudo jet. That's a government plane. Excuse me, I'm guzzling down water. This group stalker in 7T53512, loitering, sitting in the parking lot in their car, monitoring with thieves that are patrolling. 8 CDP 123. So he's monitoring me to that activity, monitoring to the plane activity, monitoring as 8 UJS 443. They're all patrolling. 21893W2. 6X40658. All right, the Spanish-speaking group stalkers you heard behind me, they are monitoring. They leave. They maintain presence, though. They're one group together. This is demonic activity. Hi. Yeah, these are the ones that covered up their plane, their license plate. No plate on the front and a paper plate on the back. The cruise, the LT cruise, BD16K76. The state's flying over again in another plane, making a U-turn over the HOLT Boulevard, over the auto parts, where adjacent to the Big Bear Inn, the Golden Bear Hotel at the corner of San Antonio. The state's flying, making a U-turn over that building. That's still relevant positioning. 6, hold on, get license plate, 6RZC 506. 5M56091, 7RSF 719, 7HDG 612, 6FUB 991, 6ZKN 328, BM00000, that's literally paper, 4ZBN 510. Like I said, they're printing those off in their living rooms. License plate 44S20, 8AEP425, and the 44S20, that looks like some sort of different looking license plate. 7KRX529, 43007A1, another plane flying slowly over the same location in front of me. 7KRX529. All right, then that's the state patrolling in the sky space while they are patrolling around me in vehicles. FedEx engaging in the P.O.C. in the parking lot. 83080B3. This weirdo with license plate 7U FE663. 7DDS086, 7LMJ727, 7N31693, 9649, 4D3 is FedEx. Exiting out of the Ontario Village Shopping Plaza, turning onto San Antonio to cross path again, 27DX02. They cross path in the parking lot, exiting onto Holt Boulevard, crossing path again, and then crossing path again as they turn into San Antonio to drive past. That's patrolling around me, 6LHH986. 4NMG226. The same safeguard patrol monitoring. I took a picture of that vehicle. Engaging in criminal activity using nothing but a commercial vehicle. It's the same exact criminal activity. 03616T2. AU73X16 is the paper plate. Let's see. License plate 98138P2. And that safeguard on demand is license 8KED587. 88120F1. 8PSZ616. 6WYZ186. 75481U2. 4MKX236. 8CSA034, BD92L89, that's a paper plate, 88120F1, 38628H2, 7WOW597, 8RYW81, I'm sorry, 8RYW130, 7G, I already got that one, 8RYW130, yeah. 8AAH596. 4YKV 722. Let's see. 7YPC 001. 7. I can't really see that one. It is 11:04 a.m. 8 TCK 729. 6 TEF 937. All right, 7T53512. Group stalking still sitting in the car next to me. That's their ignition. Playing activity over me by another Amazon Prime. Alrighty, I just captured another video for you, BH929, showing what is the state keeping its light source right here over me at this intersection of San Antonio and HOLT. I'm at the driveway of the Ontario Village Shopping Center. I'm looking at what is nearest me inside at 658 Miss Donuts, 5RBY331, and 8VJF909. Now, last Sunday, if you recall my documentation, while these demons drive by, 8VJF909 and 8GEM006, impossible light activity on the opposite side, meaning I showed you where the fake sun is right here on the corner of me. So as they're entering into the driveway, the fake sun, which is to the driver's side of their vehicle, so it's not even hitting the passenger side. As they are entering inside of the driveway, impossible light activity hitting onto the tree and into the shade on the opposite side of their cars. All right, it's demonic activity as the state is keeping light all over while they're crossing path. The people are monitoring with the state, and it's demonic. That's demonic as well. So like I said, just last Sunday, as you have me standing at the intersection of Euclid and HOLT, not even anywhere near here, 5GGW652, I was still standing at the intersection monitoring those minions as they were crossing path at that intersection of Euclid and HOLT Boulevard. At 11:08 a.m., I was still over there, and you have the state's fake sun, which is over my head at the same time where I was over there. That's mutually exclusive. All right, 7RNH453, and I have ample video that I documented last Sunday, so you can see that. And I mean, that's just another example. I have one after another. 7AXC701, and if that's not an American citizen, she deserves to be deported. That's what needs to occur. This is license plate 8KDW559, 8DMH864. Let's see, 06621Y1. Yeah, 8DMH864, got it. Impossible light activity on the side of this Ram truck while this one drives by, 06621Y1. 8TBF028. Yeah. This is how monitoring goes. They're just, and this is how you are able, while you're at home, while you're at your place of work, while you're at anybody's house, while you're on the freeway, while you're driving, while you're doing anything, as I've shown in my documentation. And the systematic monitoring is ongoing. And this is how. And it's absolutely satanic. This old piece of crap car with paper plate AU73X16 crossing path again. 1A994ND. That's an out-of-state plate. 6YND713. 7N31693. It is 11:09 a.m. And these demons are listening to the activity that I am documenting. They're listening to every single word. They're not ignorant, all right? And that is born from the nature of the crime of monitoring, by the way, but I'm also letting you know it's demonic. They know exactly what I'm saying about them as I say it. 6DZW470, 7Z08634, 6YAA528, all right? While they're patrolling on San Antonio, impossible light activity, as I've shown in video before. You already know. I've shown you what I'm describing, and that's what's occurring while they're crossing path. That's prosecution for sexual violence. 26423P2, 8 UFK317 while that impossible light activity is ongoing. ARTSWE, 8 JIE789. 3 NSA967. 8 MLR064, another plane patrolling over the parking lot. 7 FNA061. 8 ACY243, 6 LPC945, 7 MZD866 as they're driving in the parking lot. Impossible light activity shooting underneath the structures of those storefronts while they're crossing path. Okay. At the same time, the state is flying over while the fake sun is over my head. 20901G1. It's the absence of coincidence. It's criminal activity, and this is absolutely satanic. License plate 7PYN396, 7NNA883, 5BBL741, 7ASG736, 8FMR124, 8GCC028, 6XLK244, 7FJG426, 7HYF074. 6 EUZ 560, 6 PGS 395, 17498B3. Now, how do you have the sun over my head? This is a very central and precise location over my head, both at 8GEM006, 7GXF475, both at the entrance of Stater Brothers at 646 was HOLT. I mean, literally to the point of just like it is at Economy Inn, it's over the edge of the room. It's very precise, very specific to where I'm located. 4TEV563. How do you have it over me at the entrance of Stater Brothers? Over me as I'm standing at the driveway of the Ontario Village Shopping Plaza at San Antonio's. 7FYE612. And also, at the same time, like I captured it clearly in video, 7KLR752 over my head as I'm at the intersection of Euclid and HOLT Boulevard, all right, where they were all monitoring as I stood there, and Ontario Police, Ontario Fire Department engaging in that ongoing patrolling with the group stalkers as I'm documenting their license plates on Sunday morning, remaining there for a couple of hours so you could see what is the remaining of the state's light source. How do you have the sun that's directly over your head there and also at that same central location over your head here? There is no relative difference with regard to the locations. It's centered over my head there, centered over my head here. The answer is it is not the sun. That's why. That's how you have that, because it's not the sun. It's the state's light source, 7DHP583. That's how you have that. 8 ACY243, 7 TGN093. It is 11:13 a.m. That's audible activity as I begin movement. That's stalking with activity. 8 VSM921 can monitor while they stalk with activity. All right, it's group conduct. And it's absolutely demonic. They're psychopath. 64439U1, 7BIJ, 687, 7XNV095. And they're just having a field day monitoring over here in relevant position at the Starbucks drive-thru. 8SVK417 on camera right now at that venue. They're monitoring. It's no ordinary coffee drink being prepared and being purchased. They're monitoring under a fake sun. And this is all relevant positioning with the vehicles through the drive-thru. 7BPT442, 7XDL480, 8MHJ468, 5ZNN256. 6RXF032, 6LVK134, 8NKA958. HOLT, that's a commercial vehicle. I understand they're group stalking in the drive-thru. They're group stalking in the property adjacent to Starbucks. Let's get this. License plates, 8TJK297. 6VRW203, 35260U2. That's a plane right over the Starbucks. Okay, I just got that documentation of the video of the state's fake sun moving over me as I move across the street to 706 West Holt Boulevard, which is Starbucks. Third-party facilitating venue, heavily documented in 2019, 2020, where the state's fake sun remained over this venue for the duration of the day, engaging and acting like the sun was setting with sunlight that was an orange radiant color as the behavioral pattern with light occurring, in other words, inside of that venue, this venue, where the state just flew over the parking lot and while the people are engaging in relevant positioning via the drive-thru. 7AIL328, 6RXF032, and where the fake sun is clearly over my head where I'm standing in the parking lot. All right, license plate 6KVF236. I think I read that one already. 7PWN042. And this one, the license plate I just read, he just enters into the parking lot, makes a U-turn. That's called patrolling. He crosses the path, turns around again, crosses the path, while he's also creating light activity. All right? And what is the guys? He's going through the drive-thru, or he's going in to pick up a drink to be prepared. That's what the P.O.C. is. It's just adapted to the circumstances of whatever the particular type of venue it might be. And this is Starbucks, where they're engaged in rampant criminal activity while they're making coffee drinks. That's what my documentation shows. P.O.C. It is 11:17 a.m. It does smell good in here, though. Good morning. Nothing. I just want a cup of ice. Is that okay? Are you guys closed or? Okay. You're not closed? You're not closed? No, I mean to sit in here. How come nobody's in here? And I didn't know that. I didn't know. How long have you guys been open? I like the black stuff. I didn't know that. How come nobody's in here then?
I don't know. For like a month now.
Really?
Yeah.
I had no idea. I guess they got used to not being in here and now they just don't come in here? Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, can I still have a cup of ice, please?
Do you want a big cup or like a small cup?
A big cup, yeah. I didn't know that they were open. Anyway, it's 11:18. That is P.O.C. It's 2:27 p.m. on Sunday, June 13th, 2021. The audible activity you hear in the background, which is ongoing monitoring conduct by Starbucks. The state's fake sun is over the venue. They can be doing whatever it is that they appear to be doing while they're on the job. You could be at your home, you could be driving down the street, you could be in the drive-thru, as I've shown the pattern of conduct is ceaseless. They are also using this as a means to stalk with audible activity. They are acting in concert with the state that has not only planted its light source over the venue at 706 West Holt Boulevard, acting in concert with the impossible light activity that is shooting across my backpack that's sitting on the table, all right? There is no vantage point whereby that light activity is ever naturally occurring, so as they are stalking with audible activity, understand the state is also stalking with light and assaulting with light, while the minions are surrounding, sitting inside of the venue as well. They're one group acting together, monitoring what I am doing on the venue of the internet, all right? And so this is speaking to that ongoing pattern of conduct as I am inside of the venue, and sitting right in front of me is a Caucasian female. She's got a bag on the table. She's got on shorts and a gray t-shirt with a black purse under her right arm. She's monitoring. She's sitting in front of me. In front of me on my right side, in front of the long table, I'm sitting at two males with cups of water. One with tall white socks on, black tennis shoes. He's got on a black hat with a yellow emblem on the front with a P. I believe that's a pirate. White t-shirt, and the one he's sitting beside of has on a long sleeve black shirt with black jeans. I'm sorry, those are black cargo shorts with, he's got on sandals with black socks, ankle socks. Next to them is another male with headphones on. He's appearing to be reading a book, okay? He's sitting facing the door. And another group stalker, a female with a ponytail. She's got on white headphones in her ear. She's got on a laptop open. She's got a blanket over her legs. Understand the state is shooting impossible light activity onto the walls inside, shooting impossible light activity onto my backpack, shooting impossible light activity onto the table as I'm looking down at my phone, while they are in relevant position monitoring. The state is monitoring via the group stalkers in the drive-thru that are maintaining presence around the building while that ongoing pattern of conduct is ongoing. Okay, it is 2:29 p.m. This is Starbucks engaging the P.O.C. This is Starbucks engaging in that demonic activity as they are engaging in that same identical behavioral pattern, stalking with activity while they are present in the path, creating complementary activity, which is how you monitor, but also doing it pursuant to that criminal pattern of conduct with simultaneity to what I'm doing on the internet, with simultaneity to what I'm doing as I'm physically and moving, all right? This is relevant how you are legally analyzing what is satanic activity, that is speaking to what is a threat waged by the state as it is monitoring you vicariously to the people, that is speaking to what is ongoing harassment and sexual violence as it is molesting your person with light and or assaulting you with its criminal instrument for monitoring, which is light, all right? And this is what is ongoing inside of the building. There is no vantage point where that light activity is ever occurring naturally, all right? This is the ongoing pattern of conduct that I've already shown. It's just occurring indoors inside of Starbucks, already documented, present again, engaging in ongoing criminal activity with the state, all right? This is Starbucks representing the people, engaging criminal facilitation of that criminal activity of monitoring with communication devices. All right, it is 2:31 p.m. and that is the P.O.C. All right, it is 2:32 p.m. I want to go ahead and show you what is group stalking. This is group stalking conduct inside of the venue as I'm isolating the P.O.C. All right, they're called minions. And I just took an image of what surrounds. They are present in the path as group stalkers acting via license plate. Let's see. The group stalkers in the drive-thru as they enter into the drive-thru. Ontario Fire Department crossing path right now, driving north on San Antonio as I go to the window. That's group stalking, okay? That's P.O.C. License plate 7RQH989. License plate 7SKN451. Alrighty, these are the group stalkers as they are patrolling into the drive-thru. Light is moving across my backpack like I was describing. AETA 770. Let's see. 8JYG 688. And let's see. 14332X2. And these are just ongoing minions just patrolling with the state, and the Ontario Fire Department literally stalking at the corner at the moment that I get up and look out the window. They just happen to be driving by crossing on San Antonio. That's the behavioral pattern that I documented way back in 2019. As I move inside the venue, AMR ambulance, Ontario Fire Department, Ontario Police Department surrounding on the streets, okay? Stalking by sitting at the light. Driving past as I'm walking in the venue. That's group stalking. That's the state acting directly with these group stalkers through the drive-thru. Let me get this license plate over here. AETA 629. And oh, I don't think I can see that one. It is a blue Camry, driver and passenger side, female on the passenger side, and they have surveillance cameras here. It's a dark blue Toyota Camry, and I want to get 6DZS376 as they enter into the drive-thru at the same time that they enter in, driven by a male passenger and passenger female. Is as the moment that they enter into the drive-thru, impossible light activity swipes across my backpack. And so I'm taking pictures of what our group stalkers who are in close presence inside and relevant position. And this is the malice with which the entity engages in P.O.C. as they are conducting themselves as though they're doing something. They're consumed with something else. You also don't know them. You don't know their name. But you're looking at the entirety of that environment, which is pursuant to that ongoing stalking. I'm sorry, it's coexisting with the ongoing stalking by the state directly, okay? You have the incredible circumstances of what is a fake sun, and then you have what is absolutely impossible to occur naturally, which is the light that is swiping across the surfaces inside of this venue, okay? That's called directed light. While minions, because that's what they are, surround around, are engaged in what is passive-aggressive stalking. They're stalking on behalf of the state that just drove by in a fire truck. That is placing its light source directly over this venue at 706 West Holt. That is monitoring what I'm doing on the venue of the internet and is hostile to it, which is why it is engaging in this molestation and harassment with light. Group stalking via the drive-thru is the same passive-aggressive stalking. The entirety of the environment is demonstrating the fact that you are the one that is being targeted, okay? While they engage in what is passive-aggressive presence on behalf of that state. But I want to be clear, it's intended to be passive-aggressive. There is absolutely nothing passive-aggressive about the targeting conduct by the state because you are analyzing the entirety of the circumstances. And so while you have light sweeping all across your person, for example, as I've documented literally as I'm walking outside, and a fake sun over your head, and you have what's supposed to be an anonymous person, someone you don't know, that's just sitting in their vehicle next to you, that is not passive-aggressive whatsoever. It is entirely threatening, and it is entirely revealing what is the targeting conduct by that entity as it acts together, okay? That is the legal analysis for that conduct. Let me get this license plate. She's the one that gets out of AETA 629. And let me go ahead and capture this. Alrighty, I did just capture video, stepped outside and I'm getting what is at 2:37 p.m. the presence of the state's fake sun directly over the parking lot at 706 West Holt. And speaking to what is the impossible light activity. Not only is it not in conformity to the placement of, even if that was the sun, this is light activity, which I've already documented inside of this same exact venue, but also this is the behavioral pattern of the directed light surrounding with the state's fake sun above me with the ongoing presence of third parties. and the state that is stalking as well, but I'm focused on the prosecution of the people of the state. It is entirely intentional presence. It is concerted conduct with the state as it creates an ongoing maintenance of that environment, and they are engaged in targeting together, all right? It's the absence of coincidence, in other words. And so what I am speaking to is, in the video is what I'm capturing the group stalking at the venue of Starbucks as I'm isolating the pattern of conduct, but again, monitoring with communication devices is spanning well beyond Starbucks at 706 West Holt. This is the group stalking conduct by the minions in the drive-thru. They are in relevant position. They are patrolling as one group, maintaining presence while the state is aiming directed light inside of the venue, and the state's fake sun is over the venue, which, as I stated in the video, is actually, again, this is just another example. You could just contrast it to 24 hours prior. The state is engaging in keeping its fake sun over 215 East C Street, over the library, acting as though the sun is directly over the elevator, okay, because the state is keeping light over that elevator all day long. All right, but this is not actually the case with regard to the state fake sun. The state's fake sun is over that elevator at that moment because I'm entering the building. I am crossing path at that area. The minions are monitoring, keeping that fishbowl ongoing while I move inside of the building. This is why, as I captured in the video as well, inside of that venue, you have what is the state's fake sun at the opposite end of the library where I'm facing College of Law, Laverne College of Law. The state's fake sun is over that end of the library. The state's fake sun is not staying present over that elevator. It's moving as I move, just as it is here, and it's supposed to, I'm showing how you contrast, how you're looking at what is absolutely impossible to coexist, all right? And this is blatant stalking with light, because the psychopath, sex offending group stalker is monitoring with communication devices while they engage in that which is conduct of a psychopath, outwardly trying to conduct themselves as though they're doing something else, and everything is speaking to what is the absolute focus on you. You are a sex offender. That is a threat. There is nothing passive aggressive about that, but I'm speaking to what is the design. What's the criminal intent behind group stalking? That's what the entity intends, all right? Everything about that conduct is entirely threatening, and you prosecute for that, all right? There's nothing passive aggressive. There's nothing that is harmless about a group stalker maintaining presence next to you reading a book. Everything about the environment is speaking to the ongoing threat to you, and while they are monitoring you, all right? So it is actually a paradox. That very conduct is an absolute threat to your life and to your physical safety, to your well-being. Starbucks directly engaged in that ongoing conduct, waging that threat, sexually molesting with the state, all right, assaulting with the state, all manner of this environment that they are aware is ongoing, that they are facilitating, they're acting pursuant to that. And that's the documentation that I'm capturing. It's 2:41 p.m., and that is the P.O.C. This ongoing light activity is also serving the purpose of criminal obstruction of justice, as, again, the entity is aware of my documentation, would also rather me focus on that now than continue to publish all of that. That's criminal obstruction of justice, awareness of the documentation. That is also speaking to the criminal determination to continue to engage in sexual violence and that stalking conduct while the one that you're stalking is aware of the fact that's a very violent stalker and a sex offender. It doesn't get any more violent, especially when you're talking about the government doing it, and the government doing it via the people. It doesn't get any more violent than that, all right? So it is 2:42 p.m., that's P.O.C. All right, another point that I just want to make sure I point out, which you can clearly see in the images, but this is the detail that you're paying attention, the rapid appearance of the light onto the top of the table, all right? Whereas the state was not aiming it on the top of the table, the state was progressively aiming it underneath the table. You're seeing this in the images, and then I capture the video, and as I'm reciting what the state is doing with light fills over the top of this table, and that's what I took a picture of. Understand that that is also the impossible conduct with the light, all right? It's exclusive to the bottom of the table, engaging in an ongoing progression of molestation of my legs on the bottom, underneath, and this is what I'm showing in the video. And you're seeing how in the video and in the pictures it's not on the top of the table. So this is within a matter of minutes as I'm reciting what the state is doing with its impossible light, and it's covering the top of the table as it is continuously reaching through the inside, the depths of the Starbucks, all right? While their legs are covered with light, there is their laptops, everything, their entire persons and their all their property shadows on the wall. And so inside of the Starbucks, that would be the east wall where their shadows are appearing on the wall. That's the light activity that you're paying attention to, the environment that the entity is maintaining. And this is also intentional conduct while the sex offender is documenting its criminal activity and engaging and reaching in, creeping in wherever it can in order to touch with that which is not naturally occurring. That's not the sun, and that is also not sunlight. This is the state that is intentionally aiming this light. And I just want to point out what you're looking at, that rapid change in the light as I am capturing what the state is doing inside of this venue with a directed light. Okay, you're going to see that difference, nothing on the table. And the state has kept this light here present for a continuous amount of time. The moment that I capture that video and the picture, all of a sudden it's appearing on the table, okay? That's a real-time reaction, and the state always engages in it. I always point this out, what the state does as it listens to me scrutinize its criminal conduct. Understand, Starbucks, the audible activity, everything that they are doing is an ongoing sexual molestation. The state is aiming light, you're creating activity, you're in relevant position, they're sex offenders. And this is based on the nature of the crime of monitoring, the intention behind that use of that light for the purpose of monitoring with communication devices, and the absolute right that the government does not have, nor any third-party group stalking minion has, to touch you with anything, including its criminal instrument, which is light, serving a criminal purpose to monitor you while they're threatening your life, okay, stealing your property, invading your privacy, all right, listening to, engaging in the criminal elements of monitoring while you're naked, and this is everything that the entity is doing, okay? So this is an ongoing sexual violation, and I just want to point out that impossible light activity. Now that contrast that I'm pointing out, let me go back to my point, what I stated about the Ontario Ovitt Family Community Library as I'm facing west, and I'm at 706 West Holt, and I'm facing west, and that's just one contrast, okay? This hovering light source, which is necessarily migrating up and down Holt Boulevard to maintain that central presence above me and over the structure, the building, whatever address I'm at. You also have what is the ongoing documentation, the impossibility of every other place, okay? I'm not just pointing out the Ontario Ovitt Family Community Library. The state has engaged in stalking. What was the documented criminal activity? It was stalking with light, where the state is acting like the sun is setting over Economy N. All right, remaining on the left side of Economy and to the right side over Euclid Avenue, okay? And that's documented criminal activity where the state is engaging in keeping its fake sun. As I'm standing on the second floor, I'm capturing the state's fake sun as it is quote unquote setting over Euclid Avenue. And then as it deviated behind the building, so I walked over to room 222. Where do you see the state's fake sun? Right there over the top of the Economy N building. It's not going anywhere. That is not being west over here over Starbucks. I'm not even going to see that from that location. This is what the state is doing with light. It's absolutely impossible to coexist. The state acting like the sun is setting while I'm inside a grocery outlet right next to Economy Inn. The state acting like the sun is setting while I'm standing outside at the 60 freeway exit, where that is entirely impossible to coexist with what the state is doing right now. And this is everything. This is what I'm saying. It's a whole big picture what you are looking at with regard to the state's conduct with light. This is speaking to the intent and the desire to touch all over and molest. This is speaking to that intent and desire to continue to engage in the criminal conduct of monitoring, harassment, and threatening while you're engaging it. This is that ongoing state of mind that you're analyzing while the P.O.C. is ceaselessly underway. And the nature of the crime is monitoring. So they are monitoring the documentation, all right? That is what is informing policy. And the threat that the people of the state wage, and it is waged while group stalkers are listening to you, focused on you, which is demonstrated by the environment, demonstrated by the behavioral pattern, demonstrated by the stalking conduct of the state directly, while they are maintaining presence in what is impossible light activity. That is a waging of a threat while they are maintaining presence and conduct and trying to, and failing, okay? But that's what a group stalker is supposed to do. They're supposed to act like they're not focused on you, like they're doing something else, okay? And everything is speaking to the direct opposite of that. That is a threat waged by the people, okay? While they are touching with the state that's molesting all over you. They're not separate from that. It's all one group orgy that they're engaged in, all right? And this is based on the nature of the crime. That you're looking at, as I'm taking a picture of that light activity, that's the people of the state molesting together, all right? As I'm taking a picture of what is the state's fake sun, that's the people of the state engaging in threatening and harassment together while they're molesting, okay? P.O.C. is ceaselessly underway at third-party facilitating venue Starbucks, located at 706 West Holt Boulevard. And this is just these are different methods of directed light. On the table, appearing rapidly on the table after I just took pictures of it moments prior. It wasn't on the table, the state was aiming it underneath the table, okay? Stretching it across the floor, absolutely impossible light activity. Stretching it across the floor through the door, all right? And you have, this is directed light. I already spoke to what is the shooting of light throughout the venue. That's the other method of directed light conduct, okay? And this is ongoing, and including a continuous touching of my property and of my person on my face while I'm using my phone, publishing my documentation. This is what they've been engaged in, and they being the people, because they are acting with the state that is directing that light, that is stalking with that fake sun, that's creating that environment that they are knowingly present in and intentionally engaging in conduct with that state. That's called concerted conduct, all right? That is the POC. It's 6:46 p.m. Alrighty, it is 6:25 p.m. I just captured video. This is just speaking to the ongoing pattern. So as I'm at third-party facilitating venue Starbucks, located at 706 West Holt Boulevard,
what I captured right now on video at around 6:23 p.m. I'm capturing the light activity as the state is stalking with light, and this is threatening with light, this is assaulting with light, and this is including the sexual molestation with light. While third parties, which are also minions, this is demonic activity, are maintaining presence in the path inside of the venue and maintaining presence around the venue in the drive-through, in the parking lot, via traffic, and in the surrounding buildings. And so I want to be clear, what you're looking at in the video is you're looking at, first of all, what is impossible. This is, again, a building. This is supposed to be the sun that's going to be over the building, okay? And so you're talking about what is necessarily light that is being directed inside of the venue at an angle, okay? This is angular light. This is light that's being aimed in multiple directions as well. You have what the third-party group stalking minions on the side to my right, inside of the venue. You see their shadows along the walls. That is also not occurring where the sun is over the building, and that's supposed to be the sun that I'm capturing. I'm showing what is the state stalking with light, okay? And you have what is their shadows. Necessarily light is horizontally being aimed onto their person to create light activity. Understand this is systematic monitoring. While they move, while they sit there, while the barristers are stalking with activity, which they are using as a means of ongoing monitoring, acting in concert with these minions that surround, while horizontal light is being aimed onto the walls beside them, while the state is shooting light inside of the venue, all right? That's the state's directed light, and the light on the surfaces, all right? This is the same thing that you see with the minions inside of Oh No Hawaiian Barbecue, the state aiming light inside of that venue. I've shown this everywhere that I have gone, okay? Including on the sidewalks while I'm walking outside. This is the same engineered light. This is the state. And you have the state's fake sun that is remaining over the parking lot after I have captured it this morning since I've been here, okay? This is P.O.C, and there is no question about it, and I just want to speak to the video that I just captured and the images that I captured, and this is the ongoing pattern of conduct, which is demonic activity. This is Starbucks inextricably related and engaging in that criminal conduct, which is exceedingly peculiar. This is satanic that Starbucks is engaged in, and they're facilitating it. They are also engaged in sexually violent criminal activity with the government, and knowingly so, okay? The same exact pattern of conduct, the same exact hallmarks are present, while, by the way, they are engaged in criminal obstruction of justice, doing so with that ongoing criminal motive and knowledge of what I am publishing online about the state's criminal activity. They represent the state, and it is the absence of coincidence while this environment exists, which the state is maintaining for a purpose because they are monitoring inside in relevant position, all right? And so this is the presence of all elements and the ongoing hallmark of what is the state's fake sun, the state's directed light, while the state is also stalking directly, all right? The state is shooting light inside of this venue, which is occurring under no circumstances naturally, okay? There is no vantage point whereby traffic or the opening or closing of a door or by any moving of some glass like the bears, there is nothing that's going to result in that the state's behavioral pattern. This is a pattern of shooting light all over the place around me, okay? That's for purposes of monitoring with communication devices. And it is also demonic activity, as it is ceaselessly underway at 706 West HOLT. This is Starbucks, third-party facilitating venue, and that is P.O.C. It is 6:28 p.m., and that is the images of what is light that is being aimed so far inside of the venue through the windows that it's reaching underneath the table, okay? That's P.O.C. Okay, an additional note. This is the ongoing contrast with the day-to-day stalking with light. When I'm standing at, for example, Ontario Ovitt Family Community Library, and I am outside and the state is engaging in stalking with its fake sun, which is right there outside of the building after remaining there for the duration of the day, right, in the morning until the evening. And you've also seen how it moves with me as I walk through the parking lot of Ontario Town Square and get what are the shadows all around me, my own shadow, in front and behind me, while the state's fake sun is in front of me. And you see how the state's fake sun moves from the entrance as I exit the library, and you see how it moves south as I walk south on Lemon Avenue and get the license plates of those minions. This is what I captured on video. You are paying attention to the direction also. You're paying attention to everything, but let me point this out to you. You're paying attention to the direction that I'm standing. As I'm exiting the library, as I'm capturing the state's fake sun, I am facing what is west, okay? I'm facing west with the state's fake sun in front of me. I am at Starbucks. Okay, Starbucks is west of the library. So if I am facing the state's fake sun as I'm facing west, I am facing what is the same direction west as I am west of that location. So in other words, what I'm stating is, if that was actually the sun as I'm facing west outside of the library, then that means I would be able to see, facing west outside of Starbucks as I'm looking at the state's fixed sun, which is remaining over the parking lot, which is also speaking to the impossibility, but I'm just looking at it point by point. I am facing the same direction, and the state's fixed sun is at that same location. So you've got two different venues, 215 East C Street, and I'm facing west. State's fixed sun is directly over me at that venue. All right, I'm at Starbucks, which is west of the Ontario Ovitt Family Community Library, and I'm facing west, which is the same direction where I am at the library, and I'm facing the same direction. This is speaking to what is the comparison between the two locations where I'm at, and how I am standing, what I am capturing as I'm identifying what is the state stalking with its light source, remaining at that venue as I remain. So that's another thing that I want to point out with regard to even the placement in the location. Not only is it there at the venue, yes, this is an impossibility, but you're also paying attention to where it is. It's directly above me as I am facing the same direction, and Starbucks is west of what is the library, okay? And so this is a low hovering light source. It's not high up in the sky, and the state is also suggesting by the light activity that it's creating inside of this venue that it's so low that it's reaching inside of the depths of the Starbucks, and that it's also remaining over the library because the state is aiming light over that elevator all day long, which again, this is conduct that the state engages in as of late. The state was not aiming light over the elevator before. I just want to be clear. The state was doing what was aiming light through the entrance doors, all right, acting like the sun was setting, diagonal to what is through the Ontario Town Square area, and like the sun was so low that it was streaming all the way into the entrance of the library, where the state was aiming directed light all over that entrance. That's what I documented the state was doing before. So anyway, I just want to point that out, how Starbucks 706 West HOLT is west of the Ontario Ovitt Family Community Library at 215 East C Street, and I am facing west as I'm capturing the state's fixed sun. I am facing west. So in other words, the library is behind me as I am at Starbucks, and I'm facing the same direction, which is west, which is in no way suggesting that the actual sun is at the same location where I'm capturing it directly above me. All right, this is what the state is seeking to establish, though, and this is impossible. It's maintaining the central position above me at these venues. All right, so the state is engaging in what is supposed to be some sort of illusion with light, okay? The same thing that it's doing as it's rising on the left side of a building where I'm at, and then engaging and acting like the sun is setting on the right side of that building, where it has not gone anywhere, first of all, and the actual sun is not remaining over an address for the entirety of a day. In addition, it is clearly perceivable through what I'm capturing my documentation. The sun, it's not far, it's right here over the property. And that's where it is right here. It's right here over the property of Starbucks, and that is in direct conflict with it remaining over the entrance of the library as I exit it. So I just wanted to point that out as well, and that's something else that you can clearly see, in addition to the light activity as I'm capturing it. So if you have a sun, like I'm stating, I just want to reiterate, you're seeing their shadows that are coming on, that are on the walls inside. That is not from sunlight. That is necessarily light being aimed horizontally, just like the state is aiming light horizontally underneath this table, onto the table, reaching continuously across through the entirety of the cafe. That is light that is being aimed onto their persons, onto that wall, and that is how their shadows are being projected onto that wall. Okay, that's absolutely impossible light activity, not occurring from the sun either. Okay, that is P.O.C.
License plate 8PCZ433. This is to document what is bathroom monitoring. Again, the state's pattern of conduct is underway, as I've already established, but I am documenting the affirmative sexually violent criminal monitoring conduct that the people engage in. And so at third-party facilitating venue, engaging in what is activity creation, stalking with activity. So that is the amplification of what's supposed to be loud piping through the walls, heard directly above the toilets. And if you're familiar with the construction of the bathroom, this is supposed to be the guise in which the male employee whose picture I took, right? And I'm being generous in providing what is supposed to be some common sense explanation, and it's not. This is the pattern of conduct, okay? And it is activity creation, period. But I want to speak to what is relevant positioning by that employee, and what was the stalking with audible activity as I'm in the bathroom. And the new movement that I made was looking at Thank you. License plate 7MLN570, molesting. 4MOW641, molesting, while the state flies over me as I'm walking across the street. And so what I'm taking a picture of is the third-party group stalker, the employee, all right, engaged in sexually violent monitoring conduct. They are all listening together at the same time. So he is in position while the state amplifies the sound of noise. And in the bathroom, it's supposed to be what you're hearing is piping through the walls. 7RLA028, molesting. And impossible light activity all over this property as I'm walking through the Stater Brothers parking lot. This is Ontario Village Shopping Center. So that is the P.O.C. I just want to document the specific criminal act of, and understand federal group stalking and monitoring is an ongoing sex offense. But I'm speaking to those affirmative acts as the state continues to engage in it, all right? It's demonic activity, and they engage in everything deliberately, down to the degree of stalking with a fake son. When you're stalking with a fake son, nothing is happening around that is not serving that criminal purpose, all right? And they're not ignorant of that fake son and that directed light. That is P.O.C. And I just want to document that those are the images of the group stalker. That is Starbucks engaging in sexually violating an American citizen, sexual violence, engaging in corporate invasion of privacy in the bathroom. All right, maintaining presence on behalf of the government. That's intentional conduct. You're group stalking while someone is in a private space, while the state is creating amplified audible activity pursuant to what they have what they're maintaining real-time knowledge to what you're doing as you're doing it in that private space. And so this group stalker exits the bathroom, and that's this picture that I took. That's 706 West HOLT Boulevard. The same pattern of conduct, that's the same sexually violent conduct that the people are systematically engaged in, routinely engaged in. I'm just documenting it again at Starbucks. 706 West HOLT, and at this time, the state is flying over the parking lot via helicopter. Who's acting with the ASFF 637. It's P.O.C. Patrolling in and out of the grocery store. It's P.O.C. Hello. That's a security guard whose license plate I already documented as well. I'm at third-party facilitated meeting, Stater Brothers. P.O.C. Alrighty, license plate 8SFF637, 78EP277, 4906, 7V2, 28958G1, 6GJG303. 8BNF 907, 5EST 140, 8NEF 079, 60452B3, 5S68939. Don't know what those group stalkers are doing. 7UDR 151, 8FQR 845. 8VBJ987. There's impossible light trailing next to that vehicle as they go by with their stereo music. That's audible activity. And a fake moon is over the parking lot. 7LZH266. The parking lot of Ontario Village. Okay, it's like a crescent, a very thin crescent moon. This is the state's fake. I call it designs in the sky above me. 7PAE846, 5ZWC393. 8FUS206. 6EQR212, 7CPD655, 8JJE979, BP88C01. That's a paper plate on a TRD 4x4 off-road Tacoma. I already read this license plate. I believe she's the owner of the Holt Boulevard Smoke Shop. 7EIU727. Yeah, that's her. 8TBB765. 4MBU605, 8VZE841, 7TGR587, 6GNJ969, 6EFK270, 6HCM126. The state flying over the back part of the Ontario Village. So on the back, so I'm walking in the plaza parking lot and past the storefronts. The state is flying parallel to the direction I'm walking on the backside of the same plaza via helicopter. 4XAN909, 6AAS356, BVFB185, and the state has been patrolling visibly. That is, all right. I spoke about that as I entered the Stater Brothers, all right, and that's exactly what the state was also doing while I was using the bathroom inside of Starbucks, monitoring me. right? It is P.O.C. It's currently 9:20 p.m. and I am on the cameras inside of the venue at Stater Brothers. I am on the cameras inside of Starbucks. All right, and I am also on the cameras inside of the plaza of Ontario Village Shopping Center, speaking to the pattern of conduct ceaselessly underway. That's audible activity. That is also the personification of Satan. License plate 5DRE712. That is very hostile to documentation. Very hostile. 7GAF092. 3WTF 739, 8J1639, I am now walking, just to keep abreast of the information, I am now walking toward the traffic cameras at Holt and Vine Boulevard. I'm sorry, at Holt Boulevard and Vine Avenue in Ontario. So I am walking east on Holt Boulevard. I'm approaching Bonita Street. It's 9:22 p.m. AVND295 would be seen on the traffic cameras at Holt Boulevard and Vine Avenue. Crossing path, they're monitoring. I'm walking on the street. And this same venue, those cameras, and all of this area that I'm speaking to where I'm at is speaking to ongoing criminal activity while I've been sitting at Starbucks. They're monitoring. 7LSS. I can't really see that plate. You can scratch that one. All right, I'm just gonna get, it's 9:22 p.m. 5CCC 468 and 8MDV230 are driving past me, crossing path, creating light and audible activity and visible activity, they would be seen, they would be seen crossing path or driving toward me rather on the traffic cameras. That's just a timestamp as to my presence and the ongoing context to the criminal activity as it's ongoing while I'm walking. The state is now flying in a helicopter over the Emporia Place apartments, where I took a picture of the state's fake sun over me at that traffic sign at Vine Avenue across the street from First Christian Church. The state is flying over that location right there in front of me via helicopter, speaking to everything I continue to document. All right, I did just take a picture of that so you can see it. Not that I need to. I have established the state's pattern of conduct, and the state is a stalker, stalks in helicopters and airplanes on a ceaseless basis. But I went on ahead and took an image of that anyway. And you'll see the helicopter as it is above what is Gator Glass and adjacent to the Emporia Place apartments. Whose crossing path is 8WGM000. Emporia Place apartments are located at 121 South Vine to 131 South Vine. I'm gonna do 8PLE 211, 8WCB 443, I can't really see that one, 6VKT 295, 114 2572, BNZYTIZ, or substantially similar. That's supposed to be some sort of message on that license plate. I didn't really get it. It is 9:25 p.m. And those are, they're also on traffic cameras. I just crossed the street at Vine Avenue, so I'm proceeding east on Holt Boulevard. And it is 9:25 p.m. 8THB 235, 8VKB 399, Omnitrans Crossing, 6MPR 369. Oh no, that's not Omnitrans, excuse me. 8NOB 686. This is 8TCM 466. It's 9:26 p.m. $7WE. Oh, I can't really see that one. Let's get 6ZEU 430. It is currently 9:33 p.m. Let me get these license plates over here. 55597G2. 71050V2. V as in Victor. X. Oh, I can't really see that one. 8DBCL 480. 8ANF 117. Um, 8KGV 370. And I am crossing the street on traffic cameras where they're all molesting with lights. The state is monitoring. This is sexual violence while they're monitoring. 7J56296. It's also harassment and threatening conduct while impossible light activity surrounds as the people of the state surround you, targeting you and monitoring you with communication devices. 8RGK545. License plate 8FJC012. 7AJR682, I think that is. 682, that's correct. And I want to get 83965B3. All right, I have crossed the street. That horn that you sound is because I'm walking onto the street to get that license plate. They're just making sure activity is maintained. 8URR597. 8DSU109. 7RDT707. 7RDT707, yeah. 7LYF0. Can't see the rest of that one. 3413. I can't really see the rest of that one either. It is currently 9:35 though. That's traffic that is no ordinary traffic. That's called patrolling by the people of the state. Group stalkers sitting in the 150 East Holt Boulevard, the San Bernardino County parking lot. I'll get that license plate. 8NVY560. Right, and the license plate of this group stalker over here on this side of the San Bernardino County building. Group stalking. This is RUS 400, and the state is flying in helicopter over the museum. Let me get that. Okay, I did capture that video so you can see it. Speaking to everything that's ongoing and everything that I continue to document about third parties who are monitoring, and they are stalking with the state that is stalking. The state's not doing it by itself. All right, so it is 9:36 p.m. and I am at Third Party Facilitating Venue, Ontario Museum of History and Art, where the state is surrounding the airspace in plane and helicopter. Right now, as I speak, followed me from Third Party Facilitating Venue, Starbucks, followed me from the museum this morning where I was at, replete with its light source, and the people of the state following me with the state. All right, that's P.O.C. I am at the venue now, and it is 9:37 p.m.